Did you know that your Audi, Volkswagen, Seat or Skoda, on certain engines they have two oil switches? Let's take a look.
So one is with the blue body and one is with the brown body. First of all, how to disconnect this connector. I'm using this flathead screwdriver, and you put the screwdriver in here, slightly press on it, and then push and pull. It's so easy. They are mechanically or physically coated. So this groove is on the right hand side when we talk about the position of these locking mechanisms. And this connector, if you put this locking mechanism on the left hand side again, it has a groove on the left hand side, okay? So this is on the left hand side and this one is on the right hand side. So that's the coating which will you not allow to swap this sensor between each other. So these two mechanical or physical coating are very important for the engine to have the proper oil pressure switch sensor on the right position. So underneath the filter is with the brown body, and just left from the belt tensioner is with a blue body. Either one is the same size, 24 millimeters. But this one is rated for lower pressure and this one is rated for higher pressure. The blue body oil switch is rated for a pressure of 2.15 to 2.95 bar or 32 to 42 psi. The brown body switch is rated from 0.55 to 0.85 bar or 8 to 12 psi. So let's compare these two. I'm gonna remove the blue switch sensor, oil switch sensor first. Now remove brown body oil switch. Let's compare these two. The blue body switch is with a quite bigger opening and kind of like a mesh in there. Not sure if it's visible, but it's different style, that's for sure. And the brown body switch has way smaller hole and no mesh. This one has a big white dot, while this one, it has not. It's a hole in there.
I think this little white plug, which you can see on the brown switch, is not on that blue switch because it allows oil pressure to go through the switch to the electrical connector. Pressure was too high. The small plug on that switch just has been pressed out. The reason I put my front end to service position was to have a better access to the front of the engine because it was pretty dirty of oil and slurry and sludge. And when I disconnected the connector from the blue switch, inside of it was full of oil. And these sensors are prone to fail.
Then I'm gonna turn it this way. So basically almost the same. It's same geometry, but as I mentioned before, it's physically coated. This one has this lip on the right hand side, this is on the left hand side, so that's the difference between these two. Let's continue with these two switches. So let's start with blue one and look at the manufacturer. So it says Germany and then FEP PA6GF30. The brown body switch, it's also FEP. I'm gonna wipe this down. FEP Germany. And it's PA, like Peter Adam, 6GF, like Goose Fox 30. So that's very interesting thing. Both of these have the same part number. Same brand, same part number. They are different physically looking and they are rated for different oil pressures. And one more thing which I like to talk about is how many pins these oil pressure switches have. So both have one pin. We have two oil switches with different pressure rating and different mechanical like locks or coating. You cannot swap them out. They need to be in the certain position and nowhere else. So I'm gonna put them back in place. I'm gonna wait for the blue one to come because I ordered already the new switch. And don't forget, it's 24mm socket, deep socket actually, for both, and the torque is 20 newton meters, 20 newton meters, not foot-pounds, it's in newton meters. 24mm socket. I have to use adapter from 1/2 inch to 3/8 for my 3/8 torque range, which is set up for 20 newton meters. I can install this brown one back in place. I heard a click, so it's there. And I'm not gonna put the connector back in place here because I'm waiting for the new switch, as I said. I'm gonna just tighten it down with my hand so I don't have any oil leaks on my freshly cleaned front of the engine. If you want to remove the connector from this sensor when everything is back in place, like the front end is not in service position, it might be a little tricky with position of the sensor like this, with this kind of like a lip facing up. It's gonna be just like this. So then on your left hand side, when you look from the front of the car, is the securing tab. You have to push on or press on, release it, and then remove it. But if you remove the sensor, it will obviously rotate and it might end up in different positions. So I mean, this kind of like a lip might end up in different positions, so it might be a little bit tricky. Now it looks way better. See how it moves? This is what it is. So you will be able to reach this kind of like a lip at the end. I put my thumb in there. I'm gonna press on it. You see what is happening inside? And there is a little like an opening in the plastic tongue, which allows you to release the connector while you're pulling on it. And that's basically it. I hope you enjoyed this video and good luck to your project.